master degrees, one in clinical psychology, one in statistics. And in the beginning of the crisis, I started to study the statistics a little bit, and I immediately had the impression that the initial mathematical models and the initial statistics all had indeed dramatically overrated the dangerousness of the virus. That was the moment when I started to think how it was possible that an entire society and an entire population was in the grip of a narrative which in many respects was blatantly wrong or absurd. After a few months it became clear to me that the only mechanism that could explain what was happening in society was what is usually referred to as mass formation.
I wear a mask when I'm outside all the time. I even run with a mask on. And also because I want to make it be a symbol for people to see that that's the kind of thing you should be doing.
I wear a mask to school. I wear a mask to school. Hi-ho the Dario. I wear a mask to school.
Sweden's with 0 new COVID cases, despite the country dropping the mandatory wearing of masks.
The process of mass formation is identical to hypnosis. An individual that is in the grip of a process of mass formation typically becomes radically blind for everything that goes against the narratives where the masses or the group believes in. They seem to have lost all interest in the things that were important to them before the mass formation started, which make them radically willing to self-sacrifice, to sacrifice themselves for the collective.
Obviously, you don't like to tell people what to do, but sometimes for the good of society, that's necessary.
They become radically intolerant for dissonant voices. And this typically goes further and further and further. People who do not go along with the masses are stigmatized, and in the end, the masses typically are inclined to destroy the people who do not go along with them. And they do so as if it is an ethical duty to do so. That's something that was observed in all major examples of mass formation in history, whether we are talking about the Crusades or the witch hunts or the French Revolution or the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. In all the major mass formations, we noticed the same end point of the process, namely the tendency to commit cruelties, usually to destroy the people who do not go along with the masses, and that it is exactly that what makes the process so dangerous.
This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The people who are not getting vaccines, it's time to start shaming them.
Because frankly, we know that we can't trust the unvaccinated.
F them, their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
No, screw your freedom. You're a schmuck for not wearing a mask.
We have to stop coddling the morons who will not get the shot.
Shame on you.
No mask, get out!
Put on your mask or get off.
Put your fucking mask on! Put your mask on!
I want to go a little bit deeper into the idea that COVID gave people meaning.
What gives meaning to the masses and to the individuals that are in the mass formation is just the collective heroic battle with the object of anxiety. A mass formation typically emerges in a society when very specific conditions are met. First and for all, the most central condition is a major part of the population needs to feel lonely. That's crucial.
Breaking news, stay at home. That is the order tonight.
We must enact an immediate stay-at-home order.
We're going to go visit Mom. I'm going to bring the home family to see Mom. No.
We all need to stay home. Stay at home.
Stay home.
Stay home.
Stay inside.
Stop socializing.
That's starting to take a toll. It's understandable. But we can't afford to stop now. Go home and stay home.
Once people feel disconnected from their environment, they will typically start to experience a lack of meaning-making in life. And then, in a third step, once people feel socially isolated, confronted with lack of meaning-making, they will be confronted with anxiety, frustration, and aggression. And under these conditions, if a narrative is distributed through the mass media, indicating an object of anxiety and a strategy to deal with this object of anxiety, they suddenly connect to one small object of fear, for instance the coronavirus, and then people don't feel lonely anymore. They feel connected again. But the new kind of social bond is highly problematic, just because the bond is never between individuals. It's always a social bond between individuals and the collective, through which an individual shows that its own individual interests are less important than the collective interests.
You are not doing this for yourself. It's so you don't kill other people.
You don't take it for yourself, you will take it for your family.
Sounds trite to say, but we're all in this together.
Would it be accurate to say that at the root of all of this madness is our intrinsic desire to be connected?
Yes. I think that mass formation shows us that people are intrinsically social beings. And if they feel lonely, they will suddenly do everything to feel connected again, even sacrificing themselves. In the confrontation with emerging totalitarianism, the most important thing is always that the dissonant voices continue to speak out in a as sincere, honest, and peaceful way as possible. Non-violent resistance is what always works best. It's a bit cynical, but it is in the end good news, that mass formation and totalitarianism always destroys itself in a relatively short time span. If the people who do not go along with the system continue to speak out, they will succeed.